And back to our top story, aged care workers across Australia will benefit from a record 15% pay rise from July 1, which is set to cost the government more than $11 billion. Joining me live is Independent MP Allegra Spender. Good to see you, Allegra. Thanks for joining us. It is a massive amount of money and a big first step, I guess, in addressing the issues that were revealed by the Royal Commission.
I think you're absolutely right. And look, my community, I think, really supports aged care workers and care workers getting more money so that we as a society value their contribution. It's a difficult time with a tight budget and high inflation, but I think this is the right move.
OK. The government introduced legislation last year to require a registered nurse in every aged care home on every shift by July 1 this year, but the government is conceding that this is not going to happen in every aged care home due to shortages. I know higher pay brings in more people, but is the government doing enough to bolster numbers to deal with the acute shortage?
Look, I think this is the start, but I agree absolutely that we need to do more to bring more nurses and support into the aged care sector, into the care sector. So I think the government needs to do more. I think they need to be realistic about how quickly they can make this transition, because we don't want to see any aged care homes close in the short term while, if the nurses and the care workers are just not there.
Immigration Minister Andrew Giles is expected to announce visa changes for migrants who work in the aged care sector to bolster numbers. ADF personnel, they're getting a $50,000 bonus if they re-enlist. Should we do a similar thing for nurses in aged care to get them back working into the sector? Because I know a lot of nurses left through COVID.
Look, I think that let's start with this 15% increase. It's a really significant increase on for people's wages. It's up to, I think, around, almost $10,000 for some people. That's a really significant lift. So I think let's focus on that. And as you say, the short-term fix on immigration, but long-term, we need to have and train more workers, more aged care workers and more nurses in Australia. And that's got to be the focus of the education system.
Energy is an important platform of yours, Allegra. Snowy Hydro 2.0 is facing years delays. The Northern Territory giving the green light to fracking gas in the Beetaloo Basin as well for energy. The transition to a new energy future was always going to be a little bit messy and rocky, but are you confident that we can still meet emission reduction targets, knowing what we know now and knowing what we have to work with?
Look, I think we can, but I think we need to pull all the levers available. And one of the biggest levers we can pull right now is household electrification, helping households, get into more efficient appliances, get into EVs and have home batteries. Because what we know about big infrastructure projects like Snowy Hydro is that they often blow out. They often blow out in time and they blow out in money. But actually putting, solar on your roof in somebody's household, that doesn't blow out in the same way. And so I think if we focus much more on the households, then we can do much more in terms of guaranteeing this transition. And we also need to move faster on electric vehicles, because transport, passenger vehicles are 10% of our emissions. We're not going fast enough in this area. If the government really puts its foot to the ground in that area, then we can make a real difference as well in those areas. So I think we've got to focus on the areas where we know we can do better and it's more reliable and less determinant on these big infrastructure projects.
In your view, is the lifespan extension of the Eraring coal-fired power station all but guaranteed now?
Look, I think AEMO really needs to be working through these details, and that's their job. We still are having a lot of renewable projects coming on and different projects all the time. So I think it's absolutely, I'll leave that to the experts to come back once they have made all the determination about what is needed at what period of time.
Good to chat with you. Thanks, Allegra Spender. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.